Hey, I'm Dr. SCL. I'm a dad, a chiropractor, and the translator you didn't know you needed in this, the first year of parenting. This is Decoded, the first year, the podcast that turns baby brain confusion, mum burnout, and milestone panic into clarity you can actually use. Let's make sense of the chaos by decoding it together. Hey, welcome back to Decoded, the first year. I'm Dr. SCL, chiropractor, dad, and your translator for all things baby brain and body. Today I'd like to introduce you to a 4-episode series that we're doing on the first 12 months, diving into each of the significant or most significant developmental windows. And so today we're diving into the 0 to 3 month window, what I like to call the foundation phase, because this stage isn't all about skills or achievements. It's more about connection, regulation, and adaptation. This is the time your baby's nervous system is learning the single most important lesson. The world is safe and my body is mine. Now, in these first few months, your baby's brain is wiring at lightning speed, but it's also incredibly reactive. Everything is new. The light, sound, gravity, hunger, air, things that we take for granted. Things such as primitive reflexes like the morrow, startle, or routine reflexes are running the show. If you notice things like jerky movements, flailing arms, sudden startles or shivers, that's not dysfunction. That's the nervous system finding its rhythm. Your baby's main job right now is to move from survival to safety. So let's decode what it actually means and what actually matters between 0 and 3 months. One of the most significant developmental achievements during this phase is lifting of the head momentarily during tummy time. We've talked about that a lot, and there's so much more to tummy time, it's almost like that's a single episode in itself. The bringing of the hands to the mouth. This is massive because your mouth, lips, tongue are the greatest sensory input to the brain. Making eye contact and starting to track faces. This is the thing that, as a parent, is perhaps one of the greatest emotional heart pulls we ever have, is when your baby first follows your face or responds to your voice. And then there's the flexed, curled posture that they are born with that gradually opens up. You see, all babies are born in a very flexed position, because obviously they've spent a lot of time inside mum like that. But as they start to develop their posture, and what makes us unique as humans is our ability to be upright versus gravity. That requires the extensor muscles of the body to activate. They are the greatest input to the postural centers of our brain. This is why I, as a chiropractor, when talking to adults or teenagers in particular, talk about this posture massively. This is why chiropractic is not just a back pain remedy, it is actually a connection to the brain. But coming back to babies, the real milestone underneath all of that in the 0 to 3 months phase is regulation. The questions are, is your baby settling more easily? Are they sleeping longer stretches? Are they finding comfort from both your voice and or your touch? That's the brain-body connection at work, even more than rolling or holding the head up. So sometimes parents will tell me, my baby hates tummy time, or he only looks one way, or she never seems comfortable unless she's in my arms. Now, all of those can be signs of a nervous system that is under stress, perhaps from birth tension associated with feeding difficulties, or just the general overstimulation that many babies suffer from. It's not that your baby is broken, it just means that their system hasn't learnt yet how to let go and regulate. In other words, it hasn't been able to realize that this world is safe for them. So forget forcing tummy time marathons. Start with connection. skin to skin, slow rocking, and responsive touch. You want to build trust through predictability and calm. Some people might use the word routines. A few things that will commonly help will be, first and foremost, do your best to regulate yourself. Your nervous system is your baby's anchor. Respect their wake windows. When they're awake is when you want to interact and when you want to be active. But you also want to realize that those wake windows, when they're born, are really short. Sleep dominates. And you want to particularly provide lots of opportunities for movement. Don't force their positional changes. Allow them to explore their world and their body and figure out how to move. And if something fundamentally just feels off, that's worth exploring, especially if it's affecting feeding, sleeping, bowel and bladder habits, or comfort becoming an ongoing battle. Finally, in this stage, I acknowledge my role isn't about fixing. It's about helping babies adapt by gently easing spinal and cranial tension that may be keeping their system in a fight-flight state. The results parents often see? Better feeding, calmer sleep, and babies who can finally relax in their own bodies. So if you're in that 0 to 3 month chaos and wondering if this is normal or this is common, you're not alone. You're just watching your baby's nervous system find its own groove. If this episode helped you reframe what those early weeks are really about, please share it with a new parent who needs the reminder that slow is safe, and safe will always result in progress. And if you want to decode your baby's next steps, reach out to me at Mount Hawthorn Chiropractic and I'll send you the baby milestone decoder. This is Decoded, the first year, where chaos starts to make sense. Dr. SCL, out. Thanks for listening to Decoded, the first year, where we translate the mess of early parenting into something that actually makes sense. Be sure to share this episode with a friend, a partner, or a mum that you know who is quietly struggling through the noise and secretly Googling every milestone. If you want to hear more decoding, follow at Mount Hawthorn Chiropractic on the socials. Let's keep decoding the chaos. No mansplaining, no pressure, no judgment, just clarity when you need it most. Please note, this podcast isn't medical advice. It's just smart strategies from a Gonstead chiropractor, a dad, and someone who's been in the room with hundreds of mums trying to make sense of their baby's development, their own postpartum recovery, and the constant noise that comes with modern parenting. Always chat with your health team for specific care.